Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Piece of the Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I paint pieces. I paint all sorts of pieces. I cut all my beard off. I usually have this really big bushy beard, but it's really hot. And it's going to get like hotter. I might actually cut off my hair too pretty soon. The chat's already going crazy. Rasmus with a howdy. Never knew you painted pieces. Yep, I paint all sorts of little tiny pieces. And today we're going to paint some little parts to some arms for this big crazy guy right here. He is almost done. I can't believe it. I don't know. I don't really know what to do with myself about it. This is some of the best I've ever done, really. That face on the lion is just, I'm really happy with that. It looked so good. So, very happy with it. Great piece. Can't wait for my client to see this guy. I'm sure he's going to be super, super excited about it. The pictures I've sent him, he's been very happy with. So, anyway, so I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm seriously exhausted. Did a little bit of tubing behind a jet boat. It's just crazy. So you grab onto this, on these handles on this inflatable tube, and then somebody with a Corvette engine inside of a boat hauls you around a lake at about 50 miles an hour, and then you get flung from the raft, and eventually you go too fast and you hit the wrong wave, and the raft launches itself in the air and launches you in the air, and then you come crashing down into the water, or you float back on up because you have a life vest on you. So I'm like knackered, man. I am absolutely smashed. I have way too much fun with my kids, and it was totally worth every minute of it. But man, I'm tired. So salute. I ignore my coffee cup. That's my wife's coffee cup. It's just the biggest one that was available, and I needed an extra big cup of coffee today. So anyway, we need to get started on some work. So, oh no, we decided it was better to go the other way, didn't we? We decided it was better to go that way. It's way up high today. Somebody from somewhere I don't know calling me about something I don't want to talk about. I was working on these two guys. I stripped them. These are like some other seriously old Warhammer minis. I might paint like all three of them because I've got these guys and I got that old giant, and they all go to the same kind of era of minis. So which I found out wasn't quite as old as I wanted. I thought they were, but that's totally cool. Don't worry about it. So anyway, we might paint these guys up. They're pretty neat. Let's bring this down so we can actually use this to kind of focus. Get ourselves set up to where it's gonna set up. So they're nice. They're fun. This is a necromancer, and these are some pretty old skulls. They're gonna be hard to see because they're bent down to the metal, and I'm trying to get all the old paint off of them. They've been painted many times by many children over the years. I haven't ever really painted them beyond just getting them back to black, and then some child is like, oh, Dad, I want to paint it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you guys can totally paint it. This guy's been very popular. It's going to take a while to get him cleaned down and set up. But I think maybe we'll get him cleaned up and set up, and we'll do some of these really old sculpts as a treat if we hit 250. That'd be fun. Anyway, I know we're going to do the giant. We'll see. My dog is going crazy. Oh, they're moving something in across the street. There's a big van there. Maybe they're moving out. Maybe they're moving something. They're moving something in. I don't know. They're always buying stuff across the street. I've never seen people buy so much furniture in my life, if I'm completely honest. Let me jerk that thing around a bit. Alright, I need to get our pieces over here. So, for the next couple of days, we're going to work on this. We're going to work on this. I'm going to get the other arm printed today. We're going to pick up the file. And we're going to print this today, because I think I'm going to paint another one. Or two of these guys. I've got some people who are interested in having one, so I might just do that. Yeah. So this axe is like 3 pieces. They do seem to have like a particular way they go together, which is good. And it's gonna slot in between his hands. And it looks like his hands go like one's gonna go. I guess it's gonna end up going in between the little joint. Like this. So you can't actually see the seam. Which is pretty clever, honestly. I mean, it's actually this hand here, but get it all dry fitted. Right, so that piece is going to go in the other hand, so you won't see this junction here. It'll just come right out. It'll look pretty good. We got this really interesting kind of octopus motif. Good morning, Mr. McBeardsley. How are you, sir? Rasmus is already here cracking me up. So, I gotta think about this axe. We really need to get fancy on this axe. And the one in the picture is just not. It's just not. It's just like a plain, like, color. But I feel like we need to do something here. It's definitely some sort of like an octopus look. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of stalling, I guess. Huh. All right. Okay, so these arms fit together a certain way. This one definitely goes to this arm. That one goes to that arm. And this is definitely this hand, so this goes to this one. Doesn't quite fit, does it? Wonderful. Okay, so we're back to filing again. You know, that's one of my favorite things. Were you able to test your arm out this weekend? I was not. I could not get anyone that had a playtime at times where I could play. So it sucked. We didn't even go over there. I ended up getting pretty busy trying to get things ready for. I had a hot date with the missus over the weekend. We went to see Lucha de Lammermoor is the name of the opera. It's an opera based on a Sir Walter Scott story from Scotland. About love, betrayal, and madness in the Highlands. Done here, in Oklahoma City. So, a story from Scotland, put to an opera by Italian, performed in Oklahoma, and the director set it in Appalachia during the prior to the Civil War, it looked like, which was a very interesting call. especially given all the current strangeness going on here in the States. And that weirdo that claims to be from Appalachia. That guy ain't even from Appalachia. Man, I'm better be careful. I'm about so rant about politics, and it's definitely not something we need to be doing. Anyway, so there's definitely craziness going on here. Can you guys explain what Warhammer 40k is? Genuinely curious. So, okay, 40k in its basic form, 40k is army men with rules. If you ever played with your friends where you guys, got your army men together and you fought each other, and you made up a little story or whatever. It's like army men with rules. So, I do have all my army out though, sort of. I shouldn't say out, packed. So you'll have different units, and each one of these different units can do different things. Like this big old guy, this is kind of like a heavy unit, you know what I mean? And then this is like a smaller unit. So it's the D&D of army men, kind of, yes. And I'll get to McBeard's League's comment here in just a second. So there's not as much of a storyline in it as Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons actually came from wargaming, the same place 40k comes from. And those all originally came from a game called, let me think for just a second. It was called Kriegspiel. It was invented for Prussian war enthusiasts, military generals, and things like that in the old Prussian era in Europe. And they made a game called Kriegspiel. And then that evolved into different kinds of wargaming. And then from the wargaming, it got into D&D. Because D&D, if I remember right, it's based on a war game called Chainmail. And that's where that originally where that comes from, is a war game called Chainmail. And Gary Gygax wanted to take Chainmail and simplify it down to like a dungeon and a few guys. And so it wasn't these big armies full. Like I have a whole Coke box. Like, I shit you not, I have a whole, this used to have Coke bottles in it. And it is full of this army. And that's only 1,000 points. That's most of these matches. The bigger tournament match levels are played at 2,000. And I know some guys that play at like 8,000 or 4,000 and 8,000. They have like tons of units. Where they'll play like 2 versus 2 and stuff like that. Big wars. Yeah, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons and Army Men and Risk all kind of rolled into one. And there's a lot of things that you can go through it. They also make some products that are similar to, say, Dungeons and Dragons, where in that they're more of a role-playing style game where you have a character that you're playing through, and it can either be like just a board game style thing where you pick a character and the character doesn't really change, you just have its abilities and you play it as it's the little guy. And then they have some that you actually like create a character and play other things. So anyway, I hope that answered a little bit of the question. There's so much more to it. I've got, if you're really interested, check out, oh man, there's a lot of cool places out there. A guy named Bricky has a podcast called Adeptus Ridiculous, and it's really funny. But I know Bricky has somewhere in there's a video that explains all the factions and kind of a what is 40k. But the king of it all, the best guy to listen to for the best lore, is a guy named Luton. Luton's not as funny as Bricky. Bricky's kind of more fun, and and those guys on their podcast, Adept is Ridiculous, obviously ridiculous. So it's a little bit more entertainment value over full-on substance. Luton can get into like, what the metaphysics and the actual like breakdown of how temporal mechanics works, and he can get a little bit dry in some of the explanations. But his What is 40K from Luton is really, really good too, if you really want to get into it, because it's really crazy. It's set 40,000 years in the year 40,000, so 40,000 years from now, and it's the war across the stars between man and aliens and demons, and it's crazy. It's a crazy game, and it's a lot of fun. It's a crazy universe, and it's really, really neat. Big Bruce Lazy, you're not a real D&D fan if you didn't play Chainmail. Man, no, I hate Gragnards. I can't stand Gragnards, man. Like, there's just a point where you're like, bro, lay off. Everybody's mad about this new edition. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't read it. I couldn't tell you about the new edition. I don't know anything about it. Let me get back to Sandy while I'm talking. Anyway, that was a good conversation. Thanks for that question, Rasmus. That's a fun question to answer. Gragnards are crazy, man. They'll just ruin a game with their bullshit. And you're like, man, it doesn't matter if 5e sucked, as long as you don't have to play it. You still have all the books from second edition. Play it. I know some friends of mine that they have a campaign that's a first ed campaign for fun. They decided they were going to go back and run this campaign, and that they were going to get all the way through it so that they could say they played it. And they've been trying to beat that campaign for a while now, and I think that most of those guys are on their 4th and 5th characters. Because old D&D was just brutal. And people play games because they like to win. Most people. Like, some people play games because they like a big challenge, And I totally get that. Some people want a big challenge. My son's in there playing Elden Ring right now. My oldest boy is back from the lake, and he's in there playing Elden Ring. Because that boy loves a challenge. Always has, always will. He wants it on hard mode. He's never wanted anything on easy mode. So, and he hasn't really been able to crack the DLC much because he's been away at work doing a camp thing. So he's excited. You're a real fan if you didn't play Kriegspiel and Prussia circa World War I, probably. Now, and even older than World War I, you're talking like Napoleonic, Beardsley. So, you also, what did it say back up here? It said, I saw you guys had a hot date. Got you two at a time. Went to Old Paris with my sister. Hey, that's cool. And her boyfriend on Saturday bought some Pokemon boosters. One of the small shops there in there. Cool, man. Yeah, I've been thinking about like getting a little booth up at Old Paris and selling miniatures out of there. I bet you people would buy them. Maybe not have to worry so much about what we're printing. You have to get all these crazy licenses, so I'm looking at licenses on a bunch of stuff and see what it actually costs, if it's worth it. That's better. Yeah, that looks right. Maybe just a little bit more. And you can see kind of where it rubbed on it right there. See where it made that white mark? So, yeah. Anyways, gotta go make oven pancakes. Tasty. That sounds delicious. We just had eggs and sausage and hash browns. I was feeling spry when I got up this morning. Alright, there we go. Oh yeah. Much better. Okay. Now, we don't really know about that arm, so we need to probably do that on tomorrow. Make sure we got all this set up here. Well, I mean, we can probably still paint it, but we'll want to sand it tomorrow. Yeah, this is definitely going on this hand right here. That's where you guys can see what I'm doing. Get on there. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping it kind of sits in his hand like so, and that this other hand has both of those in it, because then that would be perfect. I'm guessing what we're probably going to do is wait, people hate 5e. I didn't even do that. Never got to play it. Yeah, so they hate everything. Yeah, it's all gatekeeping reasons. That's totally true. Gragnards be Gragnardian, man. That's just how they are. Yeah, this is gonna look great. Okay, so we just need to print this piece, and we're in business. I don't know why I'm holding that axe head. Like I was going to paint that right now. No, we're going to get out our pale terracotta and our pale rose. And we need just a touch of that crimson. I think is what we used if I remember right. This palette's got stuff all over it. I've been working on those Tyranids like non-stop almost. It's kind of interesting angle. Kind of wonder what it's going to look like. We've done this kind of angle a couple times, but I think I may be finally getting to where I can do that. I don't know, I'm constantly working on a better way to show the painting. That's pretty clean right there. Alright, so we don't want it quite as dirty as the legs were. We use that umber in the legs to get that real dirty look. Not quite that much. This one. You want to get Very similar to the way we did the muscles on the lion. Any place we know it's going to be a little bit more shaded, we definitely want to put this darker color in. And we know this is going to go on there too, so we can account for that. So all this down here, we're going to want it to be this darker color to start off with. Get underneath that. And just a slight line down the middle there. And you come out with just a little bit of this straight crimson for some of these deeper marks. Same as the first. Not that you're going to see a lot of that. That's what's real funny about the way a lot of these sculptures are. It's like when you're painting them like this in bits, is that you can easily paint stuff that like nobody's ever going to see it. Because it's going to get covered up. That's just the way it is. It's cool. I paint it anyway, just I don't know if it's out of habit or what. Let's see, McBeardley says, you said the person who commissioned you, their name is Mike. No, not Mike. It's, well, I mean, yeah, it's Mike, but he goes by Michael. Anyway, I remember we have a family friend, and Mike had 3D print business of sorts. So soon to see if this. No, it's not the same guy. This guy doesn't, he didn't print these, he bought these on Etsy. And now he's going to have me buy them and print them because it's going to be way cheaper to do it that way. Like way cheaper. The next one we're looking at, we're just going to get a file. We're just going to get the file for it. And that's the thing is like anything that somebody wants to buy a file for, I can buy the file and print that thing for them and sell it to them, and that's it. I can't print like more off of a single use license, but like I can't necessarily like, oh, say we buy this, I buy this file, they still want to do it after Ronnie. Yeah, there's a, I don't know which one in particular we're going to do, but there's a couple people I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm really tired, man. We went tubing and it was, I'm so worn out. I can't remember hardly shite. In the best possible way, where you're like, oh my gosh. That's fun. I wore myself out. So so good. It's so strange how you don't think the undertone is going to make much of a difference till you start getting on there and doing it, and then you're like, oh wow, no. It makes a huge difference. Sounds like something out of an 80s cop drama. The arm's got this strange texture to it. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's part of the print. It looks like it's part of the print, so we're just going to kind of paint through it. You say no one's going to see these certain spots that you're painting and put detail into, but I know that it's, but I'll know it's there. I'll always know. Yeah, that's kind of how I am with it. It's like, yeah, I could kind of fudge it, but I will always know if it was done or not. And I'll sit around worrying about it because I'm a weirdo. Like, yeah, but what if somebody does notice? And they talk trash about my work. Now normally I'd lighten this part up too, but we don't want to actually do that with this because of the shadow of that fur on the arm guard, the bracers, if you will. See, I just blended that edge in. Just kind of rotating these colors around until we get the exact right look. It's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier when you're actually sitting here staring at it, than it is to look at it through the camera. The camera never quite gives it the right look. This is some solid drum and bass right there. Yeah, right? Killing it. Doom, 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 doom. I'm gonna rest my hand for a second. I'm crampy. I really wore my hands out yesterday, boy. It was so much fun. Alright, I'm gonna take a little tiny bit of this crimson, trail that off real good. Whoop! Come back here. We're just gonna do this little thing on his arm. I really like drum and bass, especially some industrial cells tossed into it. Yeah, for sure. No, just layers. That's what this painting game is all about, man. Dropping them layers. Be dropping layers like they be dropping bass. Yeah, the color of that is very interesting to see. It's hard to get it to where you can see it on the camera, but it is there. these two colors are so subtly different that they work out great next to each other like that, where you can blend them together pretty easily without too much fuss. I've been really looking to picking up the D&D book, Candlekeep Mysteries. Seems to have a bunch of short story campaigns in it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't actually looked all the way into it. I get most of my stuff on D&D Beyond. If it's Dungeons & Dragons stuff, it's just easier than trying to keep all these books. And their interface is pretty solid, so... Alright, well, there's one. A little bit of an arm. Definitely matches up his face. Looks like it matches where it needs to go. Start working on that one if we wanted to. Oh, I might have to take a break. Man, my arms are worn out. Coffee. Oh. Stretch my hands. Oh. That inner tube was crazy. My brother-in-law's got this crazy speedboat. It's fast. We were out there booking it on a raft at like 50 miles an hour, man. Splashing right in the water. Smack. There's one time I got dumped out so hard I almost lost my shorts in the lake. came out of my britches and everything. It's crazy. Okay. We still got some time. Let's get to work. Get some stuff done here. Last time I rode a tube, my dad tossed me and I landed so hard it knocked my earrings out. Nice. That's getting smacked, man. That's getting smacked. That's good times right there already. Oop, come back here. There's our other vein on this bicep. Just funny because the vein's on the inside. You can barely see it. It's there though. I painted it. It's there. If you look deep down in that sculpture, you're gonna find it. I promise. Felt myself skip about 3 times. God damn. From the tube. That's blasting it, man. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I pretty much went straight in. Once I hit the water, I was going straight into the drink. It is Brutes Magoots. My whole body is shattered. It's 100% worth it, though. My kids had so much dang fun. All the kids had a good time. And that's what's important. Is there a certain brand of model paints you prefer to use, or is it whatever kind? I don't actually know different model brand. Man, a lot of it just comes down to like, I don't even use both. Most of the paints I use aren't even modeling paints. Most of the paints I use are like acrylics, canvas paints. Like these golden acrylics. This is like 10 times thicker than say your standard like this is a thing of Citadel here. This Rune Lord brass. So this is like their thickness is like liquid. You can almost see it, like it's almost gonna flow right out of here, right? Whereas like this stuff is thick. I mean, it's thick. So there's a little bit of a difference there, and that's kind of a preference. I definitely don't recommend people use these harder acrylics. At the beginning, it takes a lot more control of the brush and the paint itself. Knowing how to thicken it and thin, or keep it thick, or make it thin, or when and where to do that. That being said, Citadel has some pretty decent paints. Armor Painter is pretty good. I really liked this Pro Acryl. These guys, this stuff's pretty good. Monument Hobbies makes this. This stuff is pretty nice, and it's got a little ball in it to help shake it, that's pretty cool. Army Painter, they do some good stuff. They got a ball in theirs too, to help kind of shake that out. And these are dropper bottles, which I kind of prefer the dropper bottles over the pods. So this is like a paint pot, and this is all right, but I really prefer the droppers. Some people don't like that. They like to be able to like open up and paint out of a pot, but to me that's just ridiculous. Like you're gonna spill it, man. Leave it alone. Get the stuff out and put it on a pallet like you know what you're doing or something. Come on. Turn that down a little bit more. A little bit more brightness over here. Back of his elbow for sure. Such a weird spot. It's like it doesn't want to be painted. Just kind of have to keep doing it. Yeah, I'd personally prefer the droppers as well. Plus, you don't need to pour some out onto a palette. Mixing. You have less of potential mess there. Yeah, that's a part of it, and it's there's no like real easy way to get it out of those pots onto a palette. Like there's just a couple of things, but they do make they have some of the best metallics, and like they have a pretty wide range of some really vivid colors too. And their stuff's usually pretty smooth. It goes on well. There's lots of reasons why you might want to buy Citadel versus Pro Acryl or some of these other ones. Like I said, I buy my paints based on all the multiple uses I need them for, because I don't need them for, I don't just use them for miniatures. I use them for other painting projects and stuff as well. So like I need one that's canvas. I need paints that are canvas style. And so I've gotten used to painting things with canvas paints. And it's just what I got used to doing. Like I said, I definitely would not go around recommending it to other people. It's not an easy thing to do. I'll take that down just a touch. And that ought to do it right there for that arm. So those two parts of those arms are done. Now, you got to print the other arm and do the axe. Paint those forearms, and all that's done. Aha! Alright. We're getting pretty close to time, as it were, as well. I'll go ahead and pull myself back up here like it's supposed to be. Anyway, well, that was a fun little thing. Sorry it wasn't so much action today. It was more just me telling stories of my weekend, but that is definitely how that goes sometimes. You gotta go, you gotta deal with those on live shows. You know, exhausted presenters and all that stuff. Next time you see me, I might be Stone's hair. At least sometimes I feel like sometimes this weekend will be. Weekend stories are fun on Monday. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel about it too. That's definitely. I love to cut it because there's not many. I don't know a whole bunch of 45-year-old guys that got hair like this. This is not normal. I'm a lucky guy, and I know it. So I'm like, yeah. Definitely show it off a little bit. Golly, I'm just mumbling. Surprised I was able to focus enough to even get anything done at all. Put that stuff up there. Lost. Now we're just missing one more piece, which I said we're gonna print off. Okay, that's it. I said all the things. Did I say all the things? I think I did. Oh yeah, if you like what you see, you know, we do more than just like. It's usually more exciting. We do more, get more done. But I'm super bald with beard sleeve. And have been for almost 10 years now. Yeah, I got plenty of hair for you, bro. I grew it out so you could enjoy seeing a little bit of it. But I don't know. I've always wondered about growing my hair out and doing locks for love. Kristen's gonna do it. She said she's getting tired of her hair being so long, and she's gonna cut it off and do that. And you can send it to have it be made for people, wigs for folks that have it. That's it. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, share. We're gonna paint this cool little giant. Is he a little giant compared to the big giant? Because like we have the big giant. This guy's. You saw how big, if you haven't seen how big this guy is. He is massive. So this guy, well, so we're gonna paint this giant. This is a giant. That thing's huge. I definitely would not want to run into that in my normal D&D scale. You'd be tiny, because this is a giant in the normal D&D scale. This is a giant. That's like a, I don't know, a god. Actually, he's a demigod, though, isn't he? So, I guess that fits, doesn't it? Anyway, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Beardsley, for hanging out with us. I hope those pancakes turned out great there, Rasmus. And then I look forward to asking about those tomorrow, because I'm definitely going to ask. Because pancakes are delicious, and I love pancakes. I like pretty much any, like, food. It's probably why I became a chef. And it's probably why I'm a little bit thick. Yeah, that's alright. I've been losing some weight. So, anyway, I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you guys have a great week. If I don't see you for the rest of this week. Hopefully I do see you this week, because we're going to finish this guy up this week, and you don't want to miss that. So come see that. Yeah, we're at 227, trying to get to 250. If we can get up to 500, then we can start doing something for real. We like get some kudos from YouTube, and they like let me get money. So that'd be cool, because then we can have other people start paying for art supplies. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to eventually get up to, I think I have to get to 1,000 or something like that. 1,000 followers, and then then YouTube starts putting ads in my stuff, and then YouTube can pay for my art supplies, which is even better, because that's the idea. We're just here to have someone else pay for my art supplies. You guys are amazing. I love you all so much, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Roll us out of here, Steve, before I say anything stupid.